Alrighty. Oof. It has been a very long time since I'm going to look this up real quick to see when I last did a game devlog, which I knew that when I started like doing this, I was like, I just knew that I was not going to be able to like consistently get the ball rolling on this. And of course, the second I did, start trying to do something, it all just went to absolute garbage. It went to garbage so fast. For those who don't know, oh my goodness, it was 2 years ago. Oh, that's so long. So 2 years ago, and I'll probably link that game or that video technically in the description. But 2 years ago, I was working on a game that I wanted to do because one of the first things I ever wanted to do when it came to storytelling, when it came to entertainment, was game making. And not that long ago, I found a whole bunch of old journals and drawings and stuff like that of games that I wanted to make a long, long time ago. Basically, every single year, I imagine a game. I want to make a game. I plan to build a game. But I've never been good at coding. I've always been terrible at coding. I've tried understanding it. It makes no sense to me. It drives me insane. So I was interested to see how good GameGurur Max was, because the engine didn't matter to me. Like I was like, engine limitations, I can work around that. I'm sure you can make anything with any game engine. People have made some amazing stuff nowadays with the Doom engine, which is so out of date and so archaic and so limited, but people have been able to do it. And I mean, every single great game had limitations and had struggles and stuff like that, and they all became successful despite the limitations of the software. So I was like, all right, we'll try that. But then the computer crashed again, which has been a common thing. I tried to do too much and my computer crashes, and I lost all of that. It was not backed up. Well, what you're seeing right here is backed up on Dropbox, so all of this is saved. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in here real quick. For anyone who has seen any of the Instagram posts or the random little video that I posted before on YouTube, this is a game that I'm working on in the Unreal Engine, the most up-to-date version of the Unreal Engine. I am currently working on getting the weapons systems up. There are so many different tutorials that I've been able to find. All of them are mostly useless information because they're all about like doing battle royale style games or versus games, and I just want like a first person or just a single character game where the character can move around and collect stuff and grab stuff. Obviously highly inspired by Silent Hill and Resident Evil 4. Those are going to be the main inspirations, as well as a couple others, but those are the main ones. It took me a while to get the atmosphere and kind of the distance draw close to what I wanted with the kind of PS1 style games. It's obviously, PS1, like the drop off would basically be to that, to this tree from where I was standing. But I want to build it out a little bit because I do kind of want you to be able to like get a few points where you're kind of standing looking over like kind of a valley and you can kind of get an idea of where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. But I do want you to get lost in trees and fields and stuff like that. That's why I emphasize a lot of foliage, a bunch of different kinds of bushes. There's some that I'm not happy with. A lot of these I like, but there's some like this big one I'm not happy with, because the bigger it is, the more obvious the gaps and all that kind of stuff is. With the smaller ones, like that's fine. Like that's not a big deal. That's easy. Same thing with this one. But that one, that's probably got to go. And there's another one that's very similar. I think that one's over here, or at least I have one over here. Where the heck is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Same thing. So I'm probably going to do a different tactic for the bushes. This one's fine because when it's like leaves and limbs and stuff like that. The trees I like. Right now there's only two kinds of, well, technically there's three kinds of trees. These tree line flats, which looked goofy before, before I put trees over. But now when you put trees over it, it kind of hides a lot of the simplicity. But I wanted it so that I could fill out the stuff in the background, hide some stuff in the distance, and make it feel more like you're lost in the wilderness. Rocks are very simple. These kind of like mountain cliff faces kind of things. These are very simple. Took me forever, and I mean forever, to get the water to something that I was remotely proud of or happy with. And then I of course have invisible walls now. Because I wanted this very simple, standard retro game style where it's, essentially just a translucent or a transparent, and that's kind of like shifting over a second layer, which you can kind of see, to give it this kind of ripply effect, and it's kind of moving slow. At first, there was literally no way of slowing it down. It was set to 1 speed, so I think what I ended up having to do was multiply it, so that it would basically cut the speed in half or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I did, but I had to add extra layers, as well as the fog. The fog is technically 2 fogs. So we got this kind of like lighter green, this kind of haze. That's 1 layer, but that continued on much further into the distance than I wanted. So I added another one, which is essentially just this black that kind of just cuts everything that's in the distance away. And when you pile them up on top, it gives more the effect of what I'm going for, where you're lost in the woods. I might change the color a little bit because I'm kind of liking more of a blue tone that feels a little bit more wintry, but at the same time, it does invoke a little more Silent Hill with kind of like the greenish color, so I might keep it. There's still some sections that I still have to finish manually, doing by hand the texturing of the areas and the levels. So as you can see, so basically I'm doing them like in odd numbers, so it's easier to just line them up like that and then go in between and do the in-betweens. The sound I like, I had to add an extra noise pass over. Oh, that needs to be cleaned up. Oh yeah, that's part of that. A noise layer over the standard texture because the blockiness was too large, but I like kind of the scaling of it, so I just added an extra smaller noise pass over it to kind of break everything up, and I think it's good. Right now, this is just the standard run animation. I did get rid of jump, but he can run, and I had to slow him down. Sometimes he does do this weird hop when he goes over some of the things that you can kind of like pass through. Oh, this one has a something that you can't go through the middle, like the trees. But some of them you can just pass straight through, and he does this kind of like weird hop sometimes. And I don't know what's causing that. Oh, maybe kind of did it a little bit there. Anyway, and I don't know what's causing that. If it's not too obvious, it's not too distracting, and it just adds to like the kind of retro jankiness, I'll probably just keep it. The music is a placeholder, so don't let that drive you crazy. I'm definitely going to lower this ridge. It's technically a lot higher up than it probably needs to be, but I didn't want you to at any point in time be able to like look over into like the empty void. So I raised it, but it's probably, with enough of the tree foliage, it'll probably be fine. I can lower this down. And this, I'm working on an interior for this, which is separate from the exterior, because it's going to be slightly larger. I'm going to go ahead and show you where that is. It's down here. So I have the interior, which I'm still trying to figure out how to teleport. When you go to a cabin, it teleports you inside, and then there's going to be, I don't know why that automatically went to the water texture. It's so weird. Same thing with chair. But yeah, that's going to be the storage chest. There's going to be a save log. This is where the map's going to be. At first, the map is going to be all kind of like torn up, so you can only see a small section of it. Yeah. And then basically it'll just come here, and that'll teleport you inside, which the inside is technically slightly larger. but hopefully it won't be noticeable enough. But that was just so I can make sure that the character could move around without getting stuck. Yeah, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and zoom out. The snow looks great. I don't think I need to change anything else. It looks great on the low poly stuff. As you can see, it's just a void. It's just easier to model when it's just a void. I don't need extra polygons. And then the tree line just kind of like helps hide everything. But like I said, like this is technically more to where the character is seeing, so that can come down a little bit if I need to. And then there's going to be a barrier that, you know, the character's going to start out injured, and in the cabin, you know, you get health, and then you're now able to run again and all that kind of stuff. And then past this, then you get to this house, which will be much bigger. You can go inside, and then there's like an outside area where a shack, and that's where you get the hatchet to cut and destroy probably some boards that's preventing you from moving on to the next section. All right, where was I? Yeah, so this is going to be, you know, kind of like a chain link fence. It's going to have something in front of it that you can destroy, but you have to get the hatchet first. Yeah. And then that will probably end there, because I think already, man, I wish I could move a whole lot faster than this. Already that's probably maybe 20 minutes so far. Originally, my plan was to have kind of like an open world, but probably not going to be that easy, so it's definitely going to end there. I may add more to some of these sections and some of these segments as the mechanics pan out and I have more to add. But for right now, that's pretty much it. If anyone knows anything about the best way of coding weapons, and inventory and using that kind of stuff, like, please let me know. I don't know anything about that, and I'm like 20 minutes into a tutorial, and it's most of it's useless information, most of it's stuff that I feel like is going to actually just screw over the game, but it's the only one that I've been able to find that actually isn't for first person, because again, this is in the Unreal Engine. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you guys a little bit. Oh, that's right. It's so rough going from Unreal immediately to Blender or back and forth, because it's just incredibly hard to keep all that, like the not the tools, but the layout is very different. So here is the character. I try to keep it low poly, but it still actually looks low poly and low texture and resolution, but it still looks pretty high resolution. It still looks pretty high texture, so I have to do something. Also, those nostrils are kind of off, but in game you can't really tell too much. But one thing that I ended up having to do is I've modified the character in game. I had to modify him in Unreal because the bones don't quite line up right. I don't like the skeletal structure in Unreal. It's just chaos. It's pure chaos. Also, like, the hips are like 3 bones. Instead of being like 1, it's like 3 bones, and so it gives every character this kind of like saunter sway. Yes, I know that that's more realistic. That's more like kind of, how the body twists and turns. But like, for some characters, like, you don't want them to do that. And also because it was extra bones, it had more control over this area, what I like to call hips and ass, and it stretched out this a lot more, so you'd see this belt moving. But also because it was 3 bones, so there was a bone here and a bone here, and then one in the middle. This one basically had full control over everything, left of center or right of center or whatever. and so it looked like his ass was just being split in two. But I was able to modify it in game, and then also just go ahead and get rid of the belt, and like it's underneath the sweater or whatever. That way it's less obvious when you're looking at his pants. Just kind of like, see that? See the way everything is just shifting wildly? It's less obvious now that he doesn't have the belt, so that makes it a whole lot easier. It's less distracting. This right here, I'm okay with. I'm also debating on, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, I'm debating on changing him to have no backpack at first. And you might be able to carry like a small handful of items, and then later you get like a small backpack, and then finally you get the big backpack and you carry like a lot more. But you're never going to be able to carry everything. Right now, the plan, and I've modeled, I think these are the only ones that I've modeled so far. The plan is the hatchet, which is mandatory, the 8-shot 22 long rifle revolver, the 12-gauge shotgun, which is six rounds, and then there's going to be probably a bear gun, which is a single shot pistol that basically fires, hunting rifles, like heavy hunting rifle rounds, a hunting gun, and a hunting rifle with a scope, and then maybe a more of a magnum, something that's in between the bear gun and the long rifle, 22 long rifle. As of right now, I don't have any plans to put in any automatic or something like a Glock or a Beretta or anything like that. I kind of like the idea of it all just being a little bit more grounded, because not grounded, but a little bit more, less gun nut heavy, and a little bit more in the realms of what you might find in kind of like more of like a outskirt European village, because that's kind of where this is supposed to end up. Yeah, and this is where I put the shotgun model, which is, obviously out of date now. Originally, just to see if it was right, and I got these, and the shotgun's too big now. Well, they might all be too big. I don't know. Maybe the pistol's right. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I got so far. There's a lot that I have to do, obviously. But yeah. Modeling everything in Blender, which I actually enjoy. I enjoy making the models more than I enjoy coding and doing the blueprints and the layouts. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know any of that. That's not my strength. So yeah. So if anyone has any suggestions, any ideas, leave it down in the comment section. But as this goes on, I will let you guys know more and see more and keep you all posted. Because this has always been a dream of mine. I always wanted to make a video game. That was one of the first things I ever wanted to do, and I ended up having to just go to acting, voice acting, and writing instead to get my stories out, because it was a simpler medium than learning game making. But now game making is free, and it's easy technically. A lot more easy than it used to be. It used to be coding and doing math on paper and stuff like that. Relatively easier. But yeah, anyway. So that's going to be it. So if you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Stay tuned for more, and later.